What up YouTube, it's your boy ProfessorStix and I'm back again with another Call of Duty Warzone video. Today we're going to be comparing the FARA and the Cold War AK47. We'll be comparing the stats, the recoil pattern, and I'll be sharing with you the best attachments. Let's find out which is the best AR in Warzone. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I make Warzone tips and tricks videos and I compare the best weapons in Warzone. Let's get into it. Now, when we're looking at the weapon stats, the FARA has an ADS speed of 296 milliseconds compared to the Cold War AK47, which has an ADS speed of 267 milliseconds. The movement speed for the FARA is 4.67 meters per second, and the movement speed for the Cold War AK47 is 4.76 meters per second. The reload speed on the FARA is 3.17 seconds, and the reload speed on the AK47 is 2.15 seconds. The rate of fire on the FARA is 790 rounds per minute, and the rate of fire on the Cold War AK47 is 600 rounds per minute. Now we can see here that in terms of movement speed, reload speed, and ADS speed, the AK47 has the edge, and in some areas a big gap, especially on that reload speed. However, the FARA has a faster rate of fire, which makes it more forgiving if you're hitting those shots, because it allows you to readjust your aim and make sure that more of your bullets are hitting. Let's take a look at the damage profile, because that's where the AK47 starts to shine. Now, the FARA does 40 damage to the head after its recent nerf, and so now it takes 7 shots to down a fully armored opponent. The Cold War AK47 does 58 damage to the head, which means it's going to take 5 shots to down a fully armored opponent. The FARA does 31 damage to the chest, which means it's going to take 9 shots to down a fully armored opponent. And the Cold War AK47 does 43 damage to the chest, which means it's going to take 6 shots to down a fully armored opponent. Now keep in mind that both of these weapons do have a damage fall off, the FARA at 27 meters and the Cold War AK47 at 25 meters. Let's take a look at the time to kill. If you're hitting all of your headshots, the FARA is going to down a fully armored opponent in 456 milliseconds compared to the AK47, which is going to do that in 400 milliseconds. Now, if you hit all of your chest shots, the FARA is going to down a fully armored opponent in 608 milliseconds, and the AK47 is going to do that in 500 milliseconds. Now, the AK47 is really good when it comes to time to kill. It's actually one of the only few ARs that is downing a fully armored opponent if you're hitting all chest shots in a low 500 millisecond. That's really amazing. And so the FARA, although it's a very good weapon, the AK47 just outright beats it when it comes to time to kill. Now, if you hit 1, 2, or 3 headshots, you will reduce your time to kill to 532 milliseconds with the FARA, and that's one of the reasons why that recent nerf has kind of decreased the effectiveness of the FARA, because you can no longer get into that 400 range millisecond time to kill if you're hitting more headshots, because the head damage has been reduced. With the Cold War AK47, if you hit 1 or 2 headshots, you are not going to reduce your time to kill, but if you hit 3 headshots, you will reduce your time to kill to 400 milliseconds. Again, the Cold War AK47 is just really powerful. The time to kill is really good. However, it does have a drawback with that slower rate of fire. All right, so let's get into the recoil pattern. All right, so as you can see here, the recoil pattern for the FARA is on the left and the Cold War AK47 on the right. The FARA's recoil has been adjusted, and you can see it pretty much doesn't have a lot of vertical recoil. It doesn't have a lot of horizontal recoil either. The bullet spread is very tight, and that's why this is a really good weapon for a sniper support weapon, and also for close range, simply because you're going to be hitting a lot more of your shots, especially because of that increased rate of fire. The Cold War AK47 on the right, we see it has a lot of vertical recoil, and so I will share an attachment with you guys later on how you can control that recoil. But with the particular build that I have, this is how I like to run it, simply because I know I'm going to be using it at close range, and so that vertical recoil is not going to be a big issue, because I'm planning to down my opponent within that first 5 to 10 bullets. All right guys, let's jump into the situational use. The FARA and the Cold War AK47 are identical when it comes to situational use. They both excel at short and mid-range fights, but can still be used as sniper support weapons. The FARA has been nerfed a few times now when it comes to movement speed and damage, but it's still pretty effective, but it no longer rewards you for being insanely accurate, which before would have had the TZKs in the mid to high 400s. The Cold War AK47 and the FARA are excellent as sniper support, as I said, I will, however, give the FARA more of an edge as a sniper support weapon because of that increased rate of fire. The Cold War AK47 primarily should be used for run and gun styles. It should be used for aggressive play styles because you want to make sure you're hitting all of your shots, and that's most easily to do in close range combat. All right, guys, let's jump into the attachments. All right, so for the FARA, you're going to want to go with the GRU suppressor. This is pretty standard. You're going to want to go with this because it's going to give you bullet velocity, effective damage range, a little bit of vertical recoil control, and then the sound suppression, which is going to keep you off enemy minimap. You're going to want to go with the 18.7-inch Spetsnaz RPK barrel. This is again going to increase your bullet velocity, increase your damage range, and then also increase your strafe speed. You are going to get a hit on the vertical and horizontal recoil, but as I showed you guys on the recoil pattern, it's going to be pretty easy to control the FARA. The ammunition you're going to want to go with is the Spetsnaz 50 round magazine, the KGB skeletal stock, which is going to increase your ADS firing move speed, your aim mocking move speed, and also increase your sprint to fire. Then for the laser, you're going to want to go with the Tiger Team Spotlight. This is going to increase your movement speed and your aim walking movement speed. However, if you feel like you need help controlling the recoil pattern, take off the Tiger Team Spotlight and put on the underbarrel, which is the Spetsnaz grip. Another variation that you might want to do if you're using this for sniper support is taking off the KGB skeletal stock and putting on an optic of your choice. All right, let's jump into the AK47. You're going to want to go with the GRU suppressor. Again, increase your bullet velocity, keep you off the enemy minimap, and also increase your effective damage range. You're going to want to use the 20-inch Spetsnaz RPK barrel. It's going to increase your strafing speed, your bullet velocity, and your effective damage range. Again, the Tiger Team Spotlight, the 45 round speed mag, because you want to keep your ADS speed pretty quickly, especially with the AK-47. You're not going to be doing a lot of hip firing with this weapon, so you want to be able to ADS pretty quickly, especially with those close gunfights. You're going to want to go with the KGB skeletal stock. Also, if you want to be able to control that recoil better, you're going to want to take off the Tiger Team Spotlight and put on the Spetsnaz grip. And if you want to use this more as a sniper support, you're not going to be doing a lot of fast-paced run and gun style. You want to put an optic on, take off the KGB skeletal stock, and put in an optic of your choice. All right, guys, let's get into my final thoughts. The Cold War AK-47 is an absolute beast. I think a lot of people should start running this weapon right here. The time to kill is absolutely insane. If you're using it for close range combat, it really beats out a lot of SMGs and a lot of ARs in that close range fight. Now, if you are looking for a sniper support, I will say use the FARA. The rate of fire is pretty decent, as one of the fastest rate of fires out of all of the Cold War weapons, apart from the FFAR. And the one thing about the FARA is it is super accurate. The recoil pattern is very easy to control, and that's very important, especially if you're trying to either finish downs from a distance or you're trying to down an opponent that you just cracked with your sniper rifle. All right, guys, that's it for me. As always, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can find your way back for more Call of Duty content. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.